Anissa. I knew I had to make this video one of these days, but instead of focusing on a specific issue like I usually do, I want to talk about this woman's antics as a whole, because I woke up mad as hell today thinking about her. Anissa is easily the most hated character in Invincible. While other characters may have a motive or bigger picture for why they do bad things, this woman basically has none. The first time we meet Anissa, we find out that she's kind of the chillest Viltrumite that we've seen so far. At first, she pulls up, threatening to kill Debbie, but then later she apologizes because she didn't know that Mark would be so willing to actually listen. I know it's a little different in the show, but yeah, other than that, she's pretty chill. She tries explaining to Mark his job on the planet, helps him save a bunch of people from a sea monster, then she carries an entire ship to a nearby island, which was good because season 2 Mark was not doing all that. Then she gives him a light beatdown after he says no and gives him a word of warning, and then she flies off. Of all the Viltrumites that we've seen so far, she's definitely like the nicest, I guess. She talked things out before fighting and didn't even try to kill him. At this point in time, she represents the true goal of the Viltrumites, bringing peace and prosperity to other worlds and whatnot. And on top of that, she's fine as hell too. For the next 70 or some issues, she's usually just a background character, only seen in moments like the Viltrumite War and whatever. And when the war ends, Thrag makes the other Viltrumites procreate on Earth so they can rebuild the Empire. And while this worked for others like Craig, who is dead ass building a whole starting 11, others like Lucan, who would only be with one woman, shout out to him by the way, and Anissa, who wouldn't at all, weren't having a good time. And this low-key made me laugh, cause why would you pull up to a public park looking for a man? Are we serious, bro? Fresh fitted out to talk to some crackheads and disc golf players, bro. What are we doing? And they have technology, pulling up in a whole Star Wars battleship, but can't pull out a damn dating app? There has to be one out there, bro, that they can use. Hinge, Tinder, pull up to a local bar, something. She just wasn't trying hard enough. Do you want to know something interesting? Anissa has been married before. 4 times in fact, as she states in her fight against Alan. Correct me if I'm wrong because I never heard her say this in the show. That's pretty interesting to me. What happened to those 4 people? Now we see a little of Anissa here and there. She was present when Nolan got beaten down by Thrag and helped save him, and she was also there for his inauguration. But then we start seeing her more often, watching Mark. And then in issue 107, something peculiar happens. Anissa helps Mark take down Doc Seismic, who is here for the 500th time, then confirms that she has been stalking Mark this entire time. And then she kisses him. And Mark is like, hey, not cool, but she flies off before he can do anything more. And I know for a lot of y'all niggas, this will be a dream come true, but remember, Mark is engaged, his girl is pregnant, and he's about to be a father. He ain't a cheating ass nigga like all of you. Some of you. He doesn't have time for these shenanigans. And Mark at this time probably wasn't concerned about her. This was during his Angstrom Get Back arc, and all he could think about was him. And he probably forgot about her, but she did not forget about him. After escaping Mohawk Mark's dimension, Invincible heads home. And what happens in these next 30 or so issues is nothing sort of disastrous. Bro could not catch a break. Zephyr gonna need a part 2 of this video because this nigga life is terrible. First, when he gets home, he finds Eve, and she hasn't been doing too well. Mark was presumed dead by Rudy, so she was in grief. She almost lost the baby too. And Robot evil as hell, bro. Made a whole fanfic about Mark's death and then told it to his pregnant wife. Actual heinous work. And Eve has just had enough of all of this and basically tells Mark that they're breaking up and she doesn't want to see him ever again. I've never been mad at her for this, not even once, because she's been going through a lot these past couple months. And on top of that, she was pregnant too. But like I said, it just adds to Mark's suffering. So Mark leaves, very sad, just got home from being trapped in another dimension, and now his pregnant wife hates him. And then Anissa pulls up, talking about some, where have you been? And Mark is like, none of your business, but Anissa cuts to the chase. She's yammering all about the mission and how the males are performing admirably, and she's saying that she's not fulfilling her duty. Mark does not care, and rightfully so, but Anissa is saying that she refuses to procreate with the creatures on this planet, which is hilarious because she ends up doing just that later. But I guess as of now, that's fine. If you don't rock with anyone on this planet, go procreate with the other 50 Viltrumites. Lucan, Craig, literally anyone. There's gotta be one other Viltrumite that you want to crack other than the freshly 21-year-old Mark Grayson. Thousands of years old, and she's preying on 20-year-olds, bro. Have some shame. And Mark, for the 50th time, says no and tries flying away, but Anissa won't let up. Mark keeps telling her that he has places to be, which is true because Rudy's just about to take over the world, but Anissa tries seducing him. But after Mark says no again, she's like, alright, we're doing this divulsion my way. Now, I always thought that Mark at this point would be stronger than Anissa and be able to fight back, and I'm pretty sure that's true. But after thinking about it and seeing how he was mentally at this point, I think it makes sense on why he'd be way weaker than he usually is. For one, he was in that dimension, sitting in a lab for 6 months. He wasn't doing anything. And two, Mark is constantly holding back in fights. So taking that with his mental state and possibly physical state right now, it makes more sense. Eventually, Anissa pins down Mark, and try as he will, Mark is unable to stop her and he gets assaulted. And the double standard when it comes to stuff like this is actually nasty. Mark has every right to become a villain, bro, because if the roles were reversed, people would actually take this more seriously. We would not be hearing them "it should have been me" comparisons. We would not be calling Mark molestable, which is a crazy nickname by the way, and making jokes like this. And wait a minute, we? Who is we, bruh? Crazy thing is, Mark had no time to think about what happened here either. Shout out to this guy for giving him those overalls, W-mans. He had to deal with Rudy's BS, then the fact that his wife almost got killed and then went into labor. And oh my god, even when he was with Eve after their daughter was born, he couldn't even let her hug him. You know how sad that is, bro? Dude was shaking with rage when he saw Anissa again and she wanted to act all buddy-buddy. People be joking and stuff, but he hates this woman, bro. Imagine having to deal with all the BS that Mark deals with on a daily basis. Then when you're walking with your dad, your assaulter pulls up all happy and stuff. And he can't really tell anyone about it either because like, how do you even start to explain this? I don't think y'all understand how badly traumatized Mark was from all of this, bro. Like, look at this one scene. He's chilling with Eve, having a rest. And then when she got close to him, bro damn near blew his back out, trying to back away. He couldn't even kiss his wife without bursting into tears, bro. The sadness, the guilt, the feeling that it was all his fault. He couldn't even let Eve comfort him. And this is what I mean when I say that this man Mark's life is terrible. Because imagine you just told your girl this, and then the next second, you find out that your daughter isn't breathing. Big ups to Eve though. I think it's nice how she was able to understand how Mark felt, but also call out that it's not his fault, and that they're gonna work through this together. Shout out to her. Does Mark's life get any better after this? No, it does not. But anyway, that's besides the point. I feel like this would have been better received if there weren't any consequences for Anissa's actions. The big problem that I have with this whole plotline isn't the fact that it happened, but the fact that, like I said, there are no consequences. Or more importantly, there's no real resolution to it. Mark and Anissa never talk about it directly, and it's always someone else talking about it with one of them. Like when Eve, shout out to her, came after her when she was looking for Mark, and Nolan choked her. Cool and all, but I would like to see Mark having a convo with her on what happened, and Anissa bum ass apologizing. Mark never really gets any direct closure with her, which sucks because one, he deserves it, and two, it affected his relationship with Marky. Marcus, God, she's actually evil as fuck for naming him that. Granted, this whole thing happened 10 years ago, and I bet that they'll go about doing this like a better way in the anime, the show, my bad. But yeah, still, I can't believe that she got away with this wholeheartedly. Do you know what Anissa was doing while Mark was suffering, being away from his loved ones? Starting a family. All that talk about, I'll never procreate with these inferior creatures, but that BBC changed her life. You're telling me that she could have done this the entire time? She even has a daughter, bro. But the worst part was this. When we see her son that she had with Mark, and you know what he named this little niglet? Marky! She named the nigga Marky!
Look, some people need to be gone, bro. You know what I'm talking about, in order for shit to get better. And he one of them.
Deadass, bro. What did he do? What type of woodwork was this nigga laying down? There's no way he turned this killing machine into a wife. All that talk about understanding cultural differences, but he couldn't respect Mark's. None of the other village mites were moving like 2003 Kobe Bryant when they wanted a significant other. Even Thula is in a nice relationship with a nice man, normally. And I can understand her becoming a better person and learning from her past mistakes, because I guess it's obvious that she's changed. But you gotta show it better, man. Show us what made her change. Instead of telling us the guilt that she feels, show it to us. That's why Omni-Man Switch Up is so good, because we understand what made him change. We see the guilt that he feels over beating up Mark. And that's also the reason why I don't feel anything when she died. Her saving Eve was not like a nice gesture, but like I said, it doesn't mean anything to me because Mark didn't directly see it. And the apology doesn't mean anything because she never said it to Mark, personally. At least that's how I feel. Real talk though, Ursula is genuinely the finest woman in Invincible. You cannot tell me otherwise. She could have convinced me to join Thrag with that face card, not gonna lie. And she had Craig looking crazy too. Bro got that general title for the fashion. Everyone be whooping his ass. Anyway, that's my take on Anissa. Interesting character and an interesting plot line that could have been done better. Still hate her, and I still think she's a bomb. Hopefully, the show does it better. But yeah, that's it. And be civil in the comments, alright?